like, what in the clickbait is this title, Danielle? But hear me out. The best way to treat hyperpigmentation is to avoid that mess from happening in the first place. See, some of y'all are on a hamster wheel when it comes to your hyperpigmentation. You do the work to fade the dark spots, they go away, but then they come back again. It's about time you got off that hamster wheel, yo. So let's talk about common situations that you find yourselves in that cause hyperpigmentation, and I'm going to tell you how you can avoid it so you can lessen the chances of getting hyperpigmentation. So first up, if you have dark spots along your jaw and your chin area, I've been willing to bet that you also pluck your facial hair. Now, every time I bring this up, folks get upset. But listen, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to help you. But I think you'll be a little less angry once you understand how hyperpigmentation happens. When your skin experiences trauma, and trauma for your skin can be a long list of things that are including, but not limited to, acne, burns, friction, sun exposure, dryness, cuts, scrapes, bug bites, etc. And when this happens, your skin is like, whoa, 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 what is going on here? It starts to freak out and your melanocytes overproduce melanin as a result, which is the dark spots that you see on your skin. And in that long list of things that are considered trauma to the skin, there is one thread being sewn within all of them. And you know this, irritation leads to inflammation that leads to hyperpigmentation. Now back to your jawline and your chin area. Your hair removal method could be causing your hyperpigmentation. Now, as we get older, our hormones start to change, they fluctuate. And what happens is that testosterone starts ticking up and it causes a lot of things that we did not see prior. It can cause in some people acne and in a lot of us facial hair. With plucking, you are literally yanking the hair from the follicle. That is very traumatic, and that trauma can cause your melanocytes to freak out and overproduce melanin. So what do? There are other hair removal options that are less traumatic, such as shaving, dermaplaning, depilatory creams for the sensitive skin, you know, make sure it's for the face, not for, you know, anywhere else. These can be less traumatic on the skin than plucking, and those at-home wax kits, you asking for it. Some people, because you know everybody different, some people may still get hyperpigmentation regardless of the hair removal method that they use out of what I just mentioned, but choosing less traumatic ways other than ripping the hair out of your skin can lessen your likelihood of getting hyperpigmentation. So if you want off the cycle of removing your facial hair, getting dark spots, fading the dark spots, getting facial hair, removing the hair, getting dark spots, you need to stop removing the hair. Okay, that's my time. I'm just kidding. I know that's not an option for many of you. But you do have some options that can lessen the hair growth, thereby lessening the need for you to remove it, thereby lessening the chances of you getting dark spots all up and through here. Now, laser hair removal is a popular option, but a huge, big, stinking warning right here is that you need to go to someone who specializes in that hair removal method and who also has receipts that they know what they're doing when it comes to darker skin. We can't just use any old laser willy-nilly. There are specific lasers for us, right? And even having the right laser is not enough because you need a professional who knows the delicate tango with our skin and the settings that are on that machine. Because you get them settings too high, the frequency is too high, you can wind up getting burned, which can mean even more hyperpigmentation than you started out with. Now with laser hair removal, you need about 8 to 12 sessions spaced out about 4 to 6 weeks apart. Now, some people may need more sessions, and then there's some people who aren't great candidates for laser hair removal at all. Best way to find out if laser hair removal is a good option for you is to sit with a Skin of Color pro and talk through your options during the consultation. I have personal experience with laser hair removal. I've had it on my face, and I'm currently doing it with my underarms in my bikini area. The thing that you need to keep in mind with laser hair removal, it's permanent reduction in hair, which means that that over time you're gonna see less and less hair. For some people, the hair still may come back, but it's gonna be a lot less than what you started out with. Now, before I was getting laser hair removal, I was removing my facial hair with the DERMAFLASH, and then even sometimes in between that, I just let it go. Because if you rolled up on me and you saw some chin or neck hairs, that's on you. Why are you so close? 6 feet, please. I'll leave a link to that below so you can get more information on the DERMAFLASH. Another option people love for facial hair removal is electrolysis. So electrolysis, you are probably gonna need a lot more sessions, typically anywhere between 15 to 30, where laser hair removal is 8 to 12. The electrolysis sessions can last a little longer. It can be anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour, maybe even longer if you're getting it done on a larger area or an area where there's more hair. The difference though with electrolysis and laser hair removal is that electrolysis is said to be permanent. So the hairs are removed individually using an electric current, which is why it takes so long for it to get done. However, people who have had electrolysis done really love their results. I don't have any personal experience, so if you have had electrolysis done, let us know your experience, good or bad, in the comments. Now, electrolysis is something that you also do not want to play with, and you want to make sure that you go to someone who specializes in skin of color before you go and let them be playing up in your facial hairs, because you can wind up worse off than how you started. Now, another option for facial hair is to either have a chat with your gynecologist or your primary care doctor about your hormonal levels. They may prescribe you with something that you can take orally that can help to reduce the overproduction of hair. So that's definitely a conversation that you have with your doctor. That also may need to be combined with another option, but again, you have that talk with your pros. The next way to avoid hyperpigmentation is to be careful in your skincare routine. Now, technically, yes, this does involve products, but it's the principle. It's the principality. What movie did that come from? Leave a comment if you remember. So yes, this does involve products, but you need to have a good mindset. You need to be cognizant of what you're putting on your skin. So yes, 10-step skincare routines are amazing for some people. However, if you have sensitive skin or you've never tried a bunch of skincare products before, it is very hard to figure out what irritated your skin when you got 10 or more products to choose from. Like, which one did it? Which one did it? I don't know. You gotta figure it out. Now, because irritation can lead to inflammation that can lead to hyperpigmentation, you want to keep things simple to lessen that irritation. Listen, it's really cool that brands like the Inky List and The Ordinary have kind of shaken up the skincare industry, especially when it comes to the pricing model. These are brands that people swear by, and they have instructions on how to use their products and what mixes with what and this and that and the third, right? However, a lot of the general public, y'all know y'all don't be reading and stuff. So I've gotten in the past a lot of questions. Can I mix this? Or can I mix that? Can I mix this with that? And third, right? My answer is always try to find a single product that can multitask, that can do many of the things that you are looking to do instead of using 3 or 4 products. You know what I'm saying? Just simplify it. And also very related to this, a lot of you guys, when you get hyperpigmentation, you panic, you want it going right away. I'm gonna need you to slow down, son. However, a lot of you want to go hard and high in the percentages, thinking that if you douse your skin with the highest percentages and go all guns a-blazing with your skincare routine, that's going to speed up the process. And you're just asking for it at that point. Because if you wind up irritating your skin, which can be very likely if you're using very strong actives and doing the most, you can wind up worse off than where you were because you get irritated and you already know. Now, it's all fun and games until your skin gets sensitized and you can't put so much as plain water on your skin without it sizzling. Some people can tolerate high percentages, right? Yeah, of course they can. But if you have never tried a product before, how you gonna know what you can tolerate? So, the answer to this is when you're trying something you have never tried before, go low and slow. Lower in percentage, and slowly introduce it into your routine. This allows you to kind of mitigate any possible irritation and nip that mess in the bud. Then after time, and I mean some time, some months of using it, then you decide, okay, maybe I can go up higher in percentage. Maybe my skin needs a little bit more, but you still slowly introduce it into your routine. Now remember folks, the less you irritate your skin, the less likely you are to get hyperpigmentation. All right, now this next one seems to enrage people a bit, so, buckle up, y'all. Sun exposure. Sun exposure worsens pigmentation. Now I risk showing you the lace in my wig by coming up this close into the camera, but see, that's how much I care about your skin. Everybody needs to be mindful of this, but you need to especially be mindful of this if you have melasma. Melasma is greatly affected by sun exposure and heat. So be careful out there. Yeah, this one does involve products, but you can check out my 2 sunscreen playlists, which contain reviews on sunscreens, both mineral and chemical. I tend to do more of the mineral sunscreen reviews because those are harder to find ones that look good on deeper skin. But I myself am a chemical sunscreen kind of gal, but you got your options, and go check out those playlists. And make sure you also check out this video on visible light and how it affects pigmentation, especially if you have a melasma. But for some non-product ways to protect yourself from the sun, you still want to put your sunscreen on, but you also want to practice these things. Now, number 1, try to avoid being out in the sun between the hours of 10 and 2. Now, I know that's not possible because some people have jobs that require them to be outside. So if you are outside between 10 and 2 when that sun is blazing, you want to make sure that you are properly protected. Reapply your sunscreen as if your life depended on it. Your life is kind of dependent on it. And do these other things. Number 2, try to find shade as much as possible. And again, I know if you're working outside and you go out and you try to be under the shade, your boss might be kind of clocking you and being like, what you doing? But try to do it as often as possible. Number 3, wear big hats, sunglasses, umbrellas, use all of that. And number 4, look into UV protective clothing. Body hyperpigmentation can be caused by a lot of things, but in certain areas like in between the thighs, under the boobs, or maybe even if you're like me and you have a big, thick, dirty, stinking bra, you may get it like right here where the bra straps are. A lot of body hyperpigmentation is caused by friction. So this is where either the skin is rubbing up on the skin, as is the case with the inner thighs, or maybe it's rubbing up, materials rubbing against your skin, as the case with the bra strap. Now, unfortunately, avoiding friction can be hard to do unless you plan on walking around like a zombie all day. But here's some things you can do. For the thighs, there are some anti-chafing products that you can put in between your thighs so that it acts as a barrier. So instead of your thighs being all dry and rubbing up against each other and causing that friction, you have something in between it that allows it to glide better, so that can lessen the discoloration down there. Now that in and of itself is not going to fade the discoloration. It's going to prevent additional discoloration. So some of that discoloration does fade on its own with time. But because you gotta keep walking and stuff like that, more adds to it. So it's like, it's like a vicious cycle. So by doing something like that, you can lessen the additional discoloration. Another thing that you can do, there's certain little like bike shorts and certain things that you can wear underneath your clothing. That also becomes a barrier so that your skin is not rubbing up against each other and causing that discoloration. Now, with summer upon us, we're gonna be spending more time outdoors. And you know what else is waiting for us outdoors? The mosquitoes, flies, just bite into your skin. For a lot of us, our hyperpigmentation comes from bug bites. A bug bites you, you get irritated, that irritation leads to inflammation, and you know what, you know the spiel. So you want to be able to prevent the bug bites from happening, so you're gonna need to get yourself some bug spray. Now, I recently co-moderated an event for off. If you are going out to like a wedding, or you're going to, you're just going out to brunch or something, you wanna be cute, you're not trying to put some big greasy, stinking bug spray on your pretty dress. So they came out with something super lightweight. It doesn't have that bug spray smell. Not gonna mess up your clothing. It's just like your bug spray for your fashionista days. So here's how you do it. You put your sunscreen on, you give it 10 to 15 minutes. After 10 to 15 minutes, you put that bug spray on, and then you're going about your business. Now, when you got the insect repellent on, the bugs are much less likely to bite you, and that way you are preventing the type of hyperpigmentation that can come from the bug bite. Another good tip, to kind of avoid the body acne, make sure you get out of wet, sweaty clothing as soon as possible. Be able to rinse your skin, take a shower when you can, because, you know, kind of wearing wet, sweaty clothing can kind of, you know, it can kind of harbor the bacteria. And certain materials that are more breathable are probably better for you to wear in the summertime, so it's not like just like holding that sweat in. Body hair removal can lead to hyperpigmentation as well, as, you know, we talked about that in the facial hair portion of this video, but check out this video for more on that. Avoiding the acne in the first place, whether it's on your face or on your body, can greatly help you to avoid that particular type of hyperpigmentation. That calls for looking into your diet, your lifestyle, your skincare products, your makeup products, yada yada yada. And luckily for you, there are 2 playlists on acne, so make sure you check those out for more information. Now obviously you're going to need some actual skincare products to actually fade the hyperpigmentation, and you know, in some cases you may need some pro treatment, so I am leaving you here with 2 videos. One is an affordable dark spot routine. Most items in that video are under $15. And there is one on some of the best dark spot products that you can find at Sephora. Which of these tips will you be using to avoid hyperpigmentation? Are you doing something that I didn't mention in the video? Leave it all in the comments, and I'll see you fine folks in my next one. Bye guys.